Thank you very much, Trace. I'm happy to be here. Harry's excited, as always.
I'm always excited. I'm always ready.
Yeah, I know you are, as we head into the first game of this week. And this is going to be a long week here in Denmark, but of course with some top-tier Counter-Strike. As you can see on your screens right now, we got NIP up against Astralis. First game of the day, and we are on Overpass.
Yeah, the Swedes v the Danes, a matchup that goes back as old as time itself, some might say. The aggression going to be coming in early on from Astralis, so this pistol round already well and truly underway. And they're going to be testing the waters down here towards Connector. You can see they've gone toe-to-toe with Rez, while Dennis just waits ever so patiently here. This is a pretty common spam spot. The thing I'm excited about, Hugo, is just to see how these economy changes play into the meta. I haven't actually seen it in a professional game just yet.
Neither. Again, at Star Series last week, where the update came through, we didn't have that live because it came through literally like on day 4 of the event. Forest, nice start to this round. Him and Get Right, they're going to be opening up on this B bomb site, finding early kills. Astralis left down to 3, but Dennis, he's so good with his USP, and he's going to be showing us why. Another frag coming through. He is eventually overwhelmed by the close range Glock, and Astralis actually have their way onto this A bomb site because those early kills down on B drew the rotations of NIP down lower. In the meantime, Device even catching off a rotation is going to make things even more difficult as the bomb goes down.
Yeah, Device going to continue to push on in towards the bank. Finds himself one more onto Forest. So, like growing Get Right left up, and Device seems to be taking things a little bit too casually here. Anticipating perhaps the Electro's not going to be pushing in from the same position as his fallen teammate, leaving Dupree in a 1v2. 21 HP, certainly not ideal. But Dupree, he's a bit of a keen aimer when he feels like it. That said, he's going to get finished off by Get Right. So the defuse will come in for NIP with that bomb going down. Is Astralis going to be getting themselves 2,800 over on this T side, which is just wild.
2,700,
yeah, I said the wrong
plus the
thing.
800 lost bonus. But again, take into account that most players on the pistol round will be buying body armor, so they're going to keep $150 before any kills come through. Nice. So chances are you're going to see people around the high end, 2.8k to 3.3k maybe, depending on the amount of damage they do. And yeah, Astralis.
You just said a lot of numbers. There's some more numbers on your screen. They're the Betway odds. You know, I'm feeling good about that. I'd say it's pretty evenly weighted. Astralis, they're going to be the clear favorites right now. And it's interesting to see they force spot up on Dupree. He's got himself a Deegan armor. They can grab the pistols here as well, thanks to that little bit of extra cash. They're still going to be buying up in the next round. So no massive change spotted just yet in this in how this T side's playing out, other than the slight investment that they have.
The thing is, we've seen more and more teams before this new economy update came through. More and more teams have actually been approaching the second round, mainly on the CT side, with kind of buying like this anyway, half buying with pistols and no armor, and then full ecoing the third round. We're kind of in a state where Astralis are going for this very light eco, and this is all they need to go for. They're going to have rifles in the upcoming round, so I'd say this is a really nice approach to it. Again, the bomb plant, as you said, giving them a little bit more money to play with, so they can afford to eco one, maybe go for a bit of an execute towards this B bomb site. And that smoke on Heaven's going to cut off some of the range of NIP, but they still have these M4s or M4 because Lecro's been removed at the back of CT spawn already. Forest is going to get tagged, and they may just try and overwhelm him here. This bomb's going down. Astralis have some very, very low players in the post plant, but NIP are down a man.
Device even going to go out and make things tricky over here towards short. Has picked up Rez, so that is the other prong removed from this retake. They're going to go walking into Zipnix, and he lines up all 3. So Astralis instantly going to be stealing a round back. That's 4 for him in total in that round. And
look at the money.
Yeah, now there's so much money here on the T side. This is an interesting one because, I mean, you think about it before, right? Losing your anti-eco round wasn't like a massive deal. You could force buy back into it, but now, if you lose that, you can see the effect it's had. You throw so much money the way of the T side if that happens while you're playing on the CT
well,
side.
not just that, but we usually talk about like, okay, it's actually kind of in a lot of cases better to win your force buy than win the pistol in a lot of scenarios. Now it really is, because again, you lose a pistol, you get more money than if you lose in NIP's case, right? Astralis got $1,900 plus bomb plant money after that first round for losing it, and then NIP lose the follow-up, and they get even less. They have $1,400. Yeah. So this is so easy, not only for Astralis to bounce back on a round where they didn't actually invest too much into, but now just completely roll over NIP at the start of this game. This will be interesting to see if NIP can recover, because Astralis, I mean, Zipnix had $7,000 before he bought this round.
Yeah, that's the scary thing. It definitely feels like these are going to be maybe a bit more T-sided, the economy changes, right? Because you look at it now, even if NIP pick this up, Astralis still fall by into the next round for the most part as well. And it doesn't look like they're going to anyway. You don't really get to see how that plays into it, as there are only 3 players still up for Ninjas in Pyjamas. One of those is going to be Lekro, but he goes running into the Magic Man down here in mid, so he doesn't really fancy his chances. He's been tagged down to 12 HP as well. That's enough for him to go ahead and get the hell out of there. Dennis does find Device down here towards the B-bomb site, so that's gun retrieved at the very least for him. That's going to be the MP5 onto Dennis, but Glaive sneaking down through long, back to go toe-to-toe with Rez, and he does go ahead and win that out, so just Lekro and Dennis left up here for NIP.
Oh, and Lekro's just going to hit Dome, turning back around to the face of Magisk. Dennis is all that stands here for NIP, and Astralis, a nice clean second round for them at least. 15 seconds on the clock, really not much Dennis can do. He can hope for some damage, but they should be getting this kill at the end of the round. Dupree just narrowly avoids those bullets, and Dennis, he expects a push from the top of the stairs, but it doesn't seem to make a difference. Magisk cleaning up, and yeah, 2 rounds for Astralis. They keep a lot of money in the pocket, that's always important. And talking to money, Harry, well, NIP have none. The double eco may have gone from the second and third round, but it has at least moved into the third and fourth for NIP, because again, they're down to pistols, but this time not even upgrades. We're on full USPs, so stack up on long for NIP, try and group up, try and overwhelm Astralis as a group, and maybe get yourself a couple of picks. And in fact, Astralis are going towards this portion of the map, so it could work out for Nip.
Well, just, yeah. It's been okay. They managed to get 1, but that'll be it. Astralis keeping 4 players alive. They managed to get a leash back on NIP there pretty quickly at that. So an early 3-1 lead here for the Danes, and you can already see this money over on the T side is absolutely out of control. There's $10,000 across, what, 2 of the players almost. There's been a few rebuys now, so just forget I said anything. But over on the side of NIP, no warp going to be bought out. Instead, it is just rifles across the board. You can see they have the 1 defuse kit up on Get Right. Double smoke down in mid, certainly not going to do them any favors, given that they are a little bit strapped on the old utility front, but already Rez has gotten up past that smoke, and he's going to be keeping an eye on the mid aggression. Interesting enough, there's 3 players here with him, leaving just 1 man in that B bomb site in the form of Lekro. And this looks like it could be a bit of a disaster from NIP, as Astralis setting up for the B bomb side take. Only 1 man here and no fast rotations in through connector either. As Lekro falls this round, might already be all said and done. Device going to be holding for Forest, finishes him off as well. So Astralis looking like they've picked themselves up a 4th here.
Yeah, I'm so surprised NIP commit with that aggression up on Playground for so long. They just sat there without having spotted a single terrorist player for about 25 seconds. I mean, if you're not convinced it's B after that, I don't know what it's going to take to convince you, because Astralis are playing with no fear right now. Straight into that bomb site, all over the round, saving Swedes here, but it won't make too much of a difference, because Harry, again, the money for Astralis is so damn good. And that's one of the problems that could start to show through here for NIP, right? And with Astralis getting kind of the best case scenario of, you know, okay, they lost the pistol, but they got the bomb plant, they won the eco follow-up, and therefore they have all this money. It's going to be so hard for NIP to break this cash. They're going to have to win multiple CT rounds in a row while keeping players alive if they want to actually keep their own economy in a good state. So, yeah, this is already really, really good for Astralis. Not just the scoreline, but just the situation they're in. And as you can see, NIP, they get some exits, they do some damage, and they save some guns, but it won't account for much here in round number 6. Yeah, no, it certainly won't. And for NIP there as well, one thing you kind of touched on is not just how the money's going to start to affect them, but that round, usually kind of the idea behind going so aggressive down in mid is to get that information. You see if there's anyone over in middle, then you can kind of use that to play off of, what you get. And the second your res, pushed all the way forward in that situation up towards the fountain, you haven't seen anyone, you haven't spotted anyone crossing. Maybe that's when, you start to kind of get a feel for maybe we rotate a couple of guys down and go help out Lekro. Ultimately, they get punished for it. Astralis wants to going to be setting up over here toward this B bomb site. And it's 5 players here for the Danes. Let's see, we're choking over right here on the desk. Is the offense from Astralis going to choke as well? They start to make their way on and smoke up into the heavens. Dupree is the man to open up, and he's going to do more than that. Finds himself a quick double on the entry. Just Rez and Dennis left alive. Once again, I think this is a save scenario here for the Swedes. It's almost like Astralis just took a leaf out of Cadian's book in that North Optic game we saw at Star Series the other week, where they pushed B like 8 rounds in a row on T side, and then the one round that we actually have the CT stack B, they went back up to A. So Yeah, this is a bit of a mess right now for NIP. They're going to have to fall back in another awkward situation where Astralis are already on the hunt. Dupree, he has a bit of an inkling, but he's not going to win the fight. Dennis getting away with something here. But again, we had 2 guns saved in the previous round from NIP. Same story this time. Astralis have no problem with losing players down on the hunt, but there's no reason to over-aggressing. They'll hold on to 2 rifles themselves. So 5 rounds up on this T side now for Astralis. Again, such a good Overpass team. So while we kind of expect them to win this game, and considering NIP have definitely been having a bit of a rough time in the Pro League so far, this isn't a huge surprise. But
yeah, I mean, that's perhaps one of the more worrying things for NIP. You know, already kind of sporting those early losses versus North. Certainly not the start that we wanted them to get off to.
And just generally teams that they shouldn't be losing to. Like if you want to make that top spot, if you want to actually get to finals, and you're losing to the likes of Heroic, yes, again, who've looked really good, new roster, etc. They're near the top of the board at the moment. But on paper, like NIP should be winning that game. So, you know, losing some of these early matches, as you said, they've lost versus opponents they should win to, in theory. Like, this is a game that NIP can go, okay, we can lose this, we can afford to lose this, but they can't if they're losing the easy ones, or quote-unquote easy ones, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you think back to that Heroic game as well, kind of a team that they really should be looking to beat, especially, you know, you have... You know, the ex-Ninja in the form of Freiburg in there anyway. That's definitely one that they would imagine they wanted to win out. Same versus the boys over on the side of Ego, since they've made a few roster shuffles here and there. But in this round anyway, Hugo, it is just going to be these saved weapons that were carried forward once again. Struggling to get too much done off the bat for NIP. Already we've seen Rez get dropped. That's one of the rifles falling. It's Dennis. And he's up here with the AK, trying to hold off over towards middle. He does have players coming his way, so he's going to be given a chance to put that rifle to good use. There's 45 seconds left on the clock right now. The bomb has been picked up and is going to be on the back of Zipnik's coming in a little bit late. The flash goes high, but Dennis beats them on it. The timing is able to find the first. But instantly traded by Dupree. Now leaves all the pressure on it to Forest inside of this A-bomb site.
Ooh, Dupree does go down. That's something through the smoke there from Forest. So just through the gap on the prime truck, he's going to be able to find a frag. But either way, Astralis is still going to get that bomb down on the site. Zipnik's finding another kill to Lecro as well. And these Deagles are still up for NIP, but unable to convert any more kills. Even though we have low players from Astralis here, this is surely undoable for Get Right, and he'll find out the hard way. 6-1 for Astralis. And we've yet to even see an AWP on NIP. Finally, it's going to come through. But... our device hasn't really needed to style off with that AWP. It could be something that NIP could use to try and pull back this huge deficit, and they've got 2 of them, in fact, Harry.
Yeah, going to be moving straight into that double AWP setup here on the CT side. Dennis and Lecro are going to be donning them. Now, early Molotov to deny this peek out through mid. I think it missed its mark, though, and they've gone running on by. It's going to get extinguished as well by the smoke of Astralis, so... Dennis now. Going to stick around over here towards mid with that AWP, but not too keen on going down to this mid aggression from the Danes. So maybe going to be a bit more measured in his approach. Now going to start to back away. So that's mid given up. As Astralis take control of this early on. NIP yet to really get any information as to where the Danes reside. Already a decent bit of utility damage done onto Zipnik's and Dupree. And Dennis. Ooh. Maybe a shot that they're both going to want to forget sometime soon. As both the AWPers still up right now. Magisk locked in this standoff with Forest. And ooh, in the meantime, not entirely sure where Dennis found that through. I think through the bathroom wall, which is a pretty nasty shot to hit. In the meantime, Dupree and Magisk both getting toppled as well. Glaive going to win out his respective fight over here towards Long. But it's a very, very slim way back into this round. As it's him and Zipnik still left up, and Lecro to try and get by with this AWP inside of the A-bomb site. Does get caught out, so Glaive's carving a path back into this. They still have to go ahead and try and deal with Dennis, who is being a menace right now over here towards the bathrooms, but he gets spotted out as well, and surely Astralis don't get back into this 2v5. It was a 2v5.
Forest is so low as well, they'll just finish him off. There's only 10 seconds left up, and Get Right's on that long flank. like he's known for. Problem is, it's too slow. That bomb plant comes in, and they should surely hear these footsteps. He's just snuck at the right time. Flash goes over. He's blinded, but no one's peeking off the back of it. They don't fully know where he sits, but Zipnik spots it, and now Get Right's got to clutch a huge 1-on-2. They are lining up for him, but they're also peeking one by one, and Zipnik's going to go out to his death. Surely he doesn't expect the second player there, and Glaive will find 3. The IGL of Astralis coming through at a very important point. In fact, he doesn't even save the AWP there, so sticking with 4 rifles for Astralis. Again, they know that the money of NIP is going to be broken. But those are awkward rounds. When you're on such low HP across so many players, they're really skating on thin ice. It's so easy for either team to just flip that round on its head and get a couple of connecting body shots that can just make this one a 5v2 to a 2v2 in seconds. And Astralis do a great job of recovering. NIP letting it slip in a round they really couldn't afford to, both economically and round-wise. It's 7-1, Harry. We do have a bit of a push up towards B this time. That's a nice flashbang. We're just going to get caught out there by Forrest, and Dupree, he's got to try and hold on to short alone with his 3 hungry CTs on the other side.
Yeah, he's still sticking around, still desperate to try and find that trade is Dupree, but they're going to try and assemble the boost, and Glaive falls prey to it. Here's Dupree charging in towards this B bomb site, and there are players all over it, but Dupree's just lighting up the scoreboard right now. Rez up in the heavens with a scout. Desperate to try and claw his way back into this round for the Ninjas, but it's just not happening. Dennis has gone through the smoke, and Dupree going to go to find his 3rd of the round, the hat-trick. Maybe even going to find a 4th here as Rez. 16 HP. Ooh, it's a risky game he's playing, but will instantly get traded by Device, so never mind. Astralis 8-1 now. Here you go, and there is finally going to be some money for NIP to invest with. They can go ahead and get that in. The only issue is Astralis, their economy has been through the roof since that's, what, the 3rd round?
I mean, the 2nd round.
Yeah.
Think about it. We had players on 7k by round number 3, like before it even started. So yeah, really, since winning that eco round for Astralis, things have just gone heads up. And of course, it's not like NIP haven't had chances to convert this and try and bounce back. They've lost the 2 rifle rounds they have had in play since that occurrence. But yeah, this has definitely made things easier for Astralis. It would be more of the case of if NIP was actually doing damage and winning some rounds, they'd have to win more than 1. They can't even do that. 8-1 up, and Astralis, they're quick up on A long this time. There's no defense here from NIP. They've given up this position, but they will hear all the footsteps. Astralis not being too subtle until they start to reach the end point. And Rez, he gets misinformation. That'll cause an early rotate down towards B. He jump spotted, but Dupree was so close to the wall that he didn't get spotted. He goes back towards the dumpster and will finally be seen, but Dupree takes his head off, and his vision goes with that. Dennis now has to try and defend this alone, but he's played this position before, and will they expect that there's no split up through the short toilets here from Astralis, so they've all got to focus on him from long, and Magisk does exactly that. Just the orb left up on the site, but Magisk is on fire right now, and Astralis are running over this round.
Yeah, how do you even stop this, man? He's just a steam trade in towards that into the A bomb site, and now Forrest left in a 1v4. Not going to try and be a bit of a nuisance perhaps over here towards long, but in the end he's just going to opt to hold on to this M4. You think about how many rounds you've seen the NIP guys trying to hide away, trying to hold on to these rifles, and it hasn't done them a world of good. 1v4 though is asking too much of this man, and even then Glaive able to win that fight somehow. So Astralis up 9-1. No money for NIP. There's a bit of money, but it's not great. They can partial buy into this round and then take that full-on loss bonus into the next. It does mean, though, you imagine Astralis going to be finding a 10th here. And, you know, Glaive on $12,000, Zipnik's on 10,000. There is no issue with economy for the Danes.
Well, trying to keep things competitive here, a little bit of a B-Stream update for you guys at home. Wendigo are 5-4 up against G2 right now on Dust 2. That's over on the B-Stream, so if you are interested, you could head over there as well. But if you want to watch some Swedish meatballs get absolutely battered, then stick around here, because Astralis already giving it to them. Get Right, though, wants a bit of a resurgence. He finds 2 in the connector. Those are some guns dropped over. This is big now for Ninjas. They can certainly turn this one around, but look at Zipnik's. He lurks his way down into B. He's crept behind enemy lines, and NIP have no idea just yet. We see that rotate back up short from Forest. Zipnix is going to be in a good position to catch it out. He looks at his teammate, though, and gives away his position as Forest checks the angle. Does receive a lot of damage, but this has still opened up the B site. NIP happy to give it away and play retake. Now we're just waiting for Device on the flank, but GetRight's flanked him.
GetRight's dug deep. He could be the hero that NIP need in this round. He has been able to find all the kills for them thus far. And now GetRight, Forest, and Electro, the 3 players still up for NIP, looking to try and get their second round here on the back of this force. But Astralis, with Glaive and Zipnix still up, going to start to pressure the heavens, try and take control up here. The bomb is going to be planted for it. Zipnix spotting out Electro, trying to get more done. They tap on that bomb to bait these peaks in, and Zipnix still raining down death, still doing damage. It falls to Forest. And a 1v2, and Glaive out in the open. Once again, they managed to get back into a round, and I mean, if you get right there, you're going to be kicking yourself. You've done so much to haul NIP into a situation where that round is winnable, and it just all gets torn apart once again.
That's why the Heaven post plant is so good on that B site as well. If you saw Astralis realize they were getting flanked from short on the eco, so they planted a Heaven, very, very open, and that's why you don't see teams do it, because those rotates off of the CT spawn could easily cut that out. But if Astralis can get into Heaven, they can easily isolate the Jules. We saw the ability there, I think it was Zipnix up top. Just peeking out, fighting one by one, not letting NIP multi-peek him and overwhelm him. And of course that creates enough distraction that Glaive's able to sneak up on the bridge as well. So Astralis, another comeback from a pretty dire situation, a 4-on-2 that was, before they eventually made it a victory. And we've seen numerous rounds of that, this map alone. Oh, this could be awkward, but luckily Rez does hit that shot. Device goes down. GetRight's followed up. He's been great in this connector so far. Back-to-back rounds now, but finally, NIP in a 5-on-3 in a gun round. Surely this is the one they can convert.
Well, if history repeats itself, then maybe not, but here's the push on in. It's Dupree. And Zipnix trying to do the damage. They do manage to catch Forest out, but it's Dupree to manage that trade a little bit late and out on the heavens. Never mind, GetRight's been spared for now. Dupree not aware of this flank coming on in from Dennis. He's going to try and take these fights. He does spot out Rez, but GetRight instantly there, instantly able to trade up from the heavens, and that will be NIP locking in at their second round here. Albeit better late than never. But the one issue here is if your NIP is, you still have that reset looming, so you might just win one round and need to instantly have your economy back down in the depths in the following.
Some say you get even less money than losing the pistol round. As crazy as that may seem.
That does seem crazy, Hugo.
AWP is up though for Rez. Problem is SMG or Electro, it's not going to be the pitch perfect buy that NIP would have wanted here. In such a crucial point, this is their chance to pull this back and try and get that 5-10 scoreline on the half, but already that is looking undoable. GetRight seeming to be the only knight in shining armor to try and bail NIP out of this position. Rez is going to miss his shot, and somehow he's getting hounded by Dupree. Device on the flank does kill Dennis, and yeah, there it is, 1v4 already. Astralis have full map control. They've got the B bomb site, they've got A short, they've got A long, or they had it at least. They don't have the bomb, so got to go back and retrieve that, but it's still not going to be a big problem for the Danes. And Rez, he's going to walk backwards into his own death. So Astralis, 11 rounds to 2. There's the dreaded reset, Harry, and with that, the half might just be done.
Yeah, I think one of the issues as well, you know, when you come into a game playing versus like a, you know, playing versus the Astralis of whatever time period you're in, right? You imagine a lot of it's going to be mental as well, right? You go into it trying to play to counter Astralis, maybe not up to your own strengths. NIP looking a bit out of their depth right now, it almost feels like. 11-2 lead for the Danes, and they've gone for the force by Hugo. They're going to have to force into the next as well if they lose this. Magisk barreling on in, going to be leading the charge in towards this B-bomb site. Does actually get caught out. Device going to try and answer back. Forest doing damage with his CZ. And Glaive rewarded for his patience. There is still another man on the other side of that smoke, and that's Rez, you can see. Going to get backed up by Dennis, but Glaive, big old brain.
Oh,
he's read this incredibly well. He knows now where both these players are. He's able to find one, and it is just Dennis left up. The sacrificial lamb of NIP. He's doing a runner, though.
yeah. This is about as well as I expected this game to go. If anything worse, You know, even with NIP kind of struggling in the first week of Pro League, I hope they would have bounced back. And again, I don't want to read too much into a game where you're facing off against the best team in the world at their peak. But yeah, it certainly doesn't look good.
That's something that terrifies me about these Astralis guys, though, is, you know, usually it's not too uncommon to see, like, you know, you've won the major, you've won a few other, you know, maybe you drop off a bit, you take, yeah, right, think about Cloud9. They just basically disbanded the second that they won that. So, what was it? It was like they won the major, then they came like second at CS Summit, losing to Liquid, and then after that, it was just nothing.
Someone said in an interview recently, I don't know who it was, from Cloud9 or involved at some point, that after they won the major, they kind of just dropped off in terms of, you know, they didn't have this, maybe the same motivation or desire to do well, because they thought, oh, you know, I've achieved what I want to achieve. I've won a major. That's the biggest thing you can do in Counter-Strike. I'm chilling now.
Yeah,
and, you know, I don't think Astralis at all would have the same mentality coming into
that's the thing, right? And you know, maybe you know, you still keep it up for lands, but when you're playing from home, you just kind of are a bit more casual, right? That's what we expect to see. But the Astralis guys, they're just always doing phenomenal. Like, look at this, they've all bought out the SG. They're not even doing this because it's like an amazing purchase right now. I don't think they're just doing it to please us.
Yeah,
that's what I like to believe, anyway.
I mean,
they could still lose this round, though. GetRight's been a bit of a gamer. He's got himself an SG. He's got that new kind of big boy weapon that we've all been talking about. $50 more than the AK, but 100 times better, so it's well worth it. And here he is, GetRight, 5 HP, looking to try and showcase the power of the SG, Hugo. He's looking to try and make all you out there believe in the Krieg. So as he edges on forward, 3 players still to find. Glaive going to get naded down by his teammate. They spot out GetRight, but there's the first kill. That nade going to do damage onto Magisk. 1v2, and well, the SGs do prevail. It's not the one that we were rooting for, though, Hugo. That's going to be a 13th round there for the Danes. 13-2 at the end of this first half.
Yeah, and now we have these halves, right? And we can at least say that, okay, pistol rounds matter less in terms of... Well, maybe not so much on a 13-2, because if you lose pistol and eco once, then you're already 15.
So do pistol rounds matter less, or do anti-ecos and conversions matter more?
I mean, you can make a case for either. It just depends how you're going to approach second rounds, right? That completely depends on, like... The weird thing about this game is Astralis didn't even force, and they still won it.
Yeah,
so
that's
kind of
what
a
I
weird
mean.
One,
yeah,
right?
Exactly,
but
right?
In most cases, that won't happen. So it totally depends on how... I'm going to go with the T side a lot of the time. I think of all forcing teams, going to see the T side forcing more in the sense
because it's weird. It's like, on one hand, right, it matters less getting that conversion, because you can just, like, you know, no, they're not getting the conversion, rather, but, like, actually winning the pistol and, like, you know, having success there matters less, right, because it affects less round, but actually being able to pick up the conversion now, like, feels way more important.
I mean, didn't Chad even say in his in a tweet when the update came out that you can, I can't remember exactly, but I think you can eco pistol, right, just not buy anything, get a bomb plant on first round, lose it, and still have the same, if not more money than the CTs. Like, that's insane. That's ridiculous.
Believable. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting things. I think, you know, we're going to see some of the big brains of CS look to try and break out at some point, right? It wouldn't surprise me if we see, like, I mean, I think, like, Big are the perfect team to just, like, throw in some really, you know, you look at it and you're like, why, you know, what even is this? And then you realize it's the workings of a madman, that man being God B, right? He just sits there scheming away all day. And, yeah, I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait to see some of the big economic plays that we see happen.
There's definitely going to be some interesting CS.
Yeah, exactly.
Regardless of whether it's good or bad, it will be entertaining, and that's what I enjoy.
I don't know about that. I think, you know, good CS is entertaining. Bad CS is...
Oh, bad CS can be entertaining.
It can be entertaining, but it has to be pretty atrocious CS at that point. Here's some good CS, though, Hugo. Device and Dupree, the double Ds of Astralis over here towards Long. And already Device has taken up position in the park. He's... That's been spotted out, and actually, damage done on a Magis down here in mid. Now these two players are long going to get hung out to dry a little bit. Dupree swinging on in, does bail Device out, but it's GetRight in the toilets. He's going to go ahead and find himself a second. He's been a real star right now for NIP. Having a bit of a vintage performance is GetRight. Sitting top of the board right now for the Swedes. Continuing this pressure onto Dupree, and finally him and Forrest sandwich him in. Stuck quite literally between a rock and a hard place there. Down towards Long. Nick's going to fall as well. It's Glaive left in a 1v4.
I mean, for reference, GetRight is the second highest performer in the entire server right now, despite Astralis being... And scoreboard's not going to work because it's gone over halftime, but he has 16 kills, and the top is Zipnik's at 18. Device on 14 is in... well, there's 3 players of Astralis on 14 kills, but yeah, that's insane to think GetRight is second on the scoreboard, despite being, well, now... 13-3. So NIP have something, Harry. They've wormed their way onto a pistol round. They've picked up that start that they need to kind of culminate and pull this game back, potentially. And now things get interesting, because Astralis have lost both pistol rounds. So let's see how they approach the CT second round, right? And I think that's a large reason why we're seeing the save from Glaive. And I think a lot more teams are going to be considering saving on CT pistol rounds rather than just going for these unwinnable retakes.
Here's something fun. If anyone has any like wacky economic ideas, just tweet them at us, and you know, we'll try and hypothesize that.
See that hashtag on your screen? Use the hashtag ESL Pro League as well.
There we go.
Make sure to @us in so we actually see it.
Yeah, maybe do that, or don't. It's up to you. It's a free country, Hugo. And NIP, you know, finding the pistol here. They're looking to try and kickstart this second half, get off to a bit of a better start versus the Danes. The Swedes trying to dig deep. And let me tell you, with how Get Right has been playing, maybe there's still some fight in the old boys yet. So it is just a full eco from Astralis in this round, looking to try and get all the weapons in the world in the next.
Yeah, I think, I like the approach instead of forcing. Again, if you're confident in your gun rounds, if you're coming into a game as an expected victor, especially when you're 13-3 up, just have faith in your gun rounds. Give away 2, give away that pistol and 1 conversion. It means, you know, you're letting NIP get less rounds for free back into the game, whereas in the past, if you were, you know, going for that second round half buy, maybe get some deagles and then the USPs in the third round, you're kind of giving a lot away to NIP. But Astralis is perfectly fine with pulling in M4s in that third round of the half.
I do wonder as well, like, French teams, right? Is this update going to destroy them? Because it feels like they finally started to like understand, you know, like when to save, you know, like how to, you know, because they love to force buy, right?
Harry, I don't want to be too rude, but I don't think you need the economy update to destroy French teams.
Ooh.
Like they've been having their struggles. That's all I'll say.
They certainly have. But you know, we can go ahead and.
I mean, Vitality just beat Optic in the IEM Chicago qualifier today.
How exciting is that?
And they're also 10-1 up on that second map. So, I mean, it's not like the French teams aren't finding some success.
This isn't even a bistro update. This is an entirely different team update. But
I mean, LDLC also 2-0'd G2 earlier. So
yeah, it's been a pretty topsy-turvy time for Counter-Strike right now, Hugo. Tell you what, then we're going to be up 4-13 in favor of NIP. And here's the buy coming on in from the Danes. They finally managed to get that on the board here. In round 18. Device going to be moving on to the Scout. Maybe would have liked to see him pick up the AUG. That would have been interesting. But yeah, no like crazy changes. We haven't seen any like 5 SG strats coming into this just yet. Still time, obviously. The day is still very young.
Nice tag there from Device, but Forrest is going to line up 2 kills. They didn't anticipate him being so close. He wrapped that right wall really, really fast. NIP now 2 men up in this round, a very important one as well. I mean, every single round is important now for NIP, who are just 2 away from giving map and match point, at least for this best of 1. Magisk will try and bail them out on that A-bomb site. And we have Glaive playing solo B, but he's pushed up on short, so he gets a lot of information. He allows for his 2 teammates to play up on that A-bomb site, expecting a bit of a push. And that may be correctly assumed, because NIP is still up in these toilets with all 4 of their players. And we've seen a very similar round on the T side that Astralis actually won in a 2v4. And again, NIP had a couple of low players, so let's not count Astralis out of this round. And they have more manpower by the second as Magisk drops res. That makes things easier. The long peak coming out wide. Great spray transfer to do so much damage to Get Right. He doesn't even get damaged as a result. Takes another fight, and the molly forces him out with Magisk. Oh my god, he gets the ace.
I mean, it's just filth, isn't he? What on earth? He's absolutely disgusting. This is like one of the best spray transfers I've seen in a while. It's just wild, Hugo. He's unhinged. He's not even a man anymore.
He's spraying like a hose on a hot summer's day, Harry.
Oh my god, what a metaphor, what a mental image. That is the most like, you know, it's very British. We love a hose pipe.
And a hose pipe ban.
Yeah, we do like a hose pipe ban.
Ban this man, Harry.
Ban this man. Perhaps that's what we're going to see the Swedish fans screaming with pictures of Magisk. But not anytime soon, that's for sure. They've got their last buy in the tank here, Hugo. Do NIP. If they lose this round, sad to say, they're going to be forced buying into the next. A 15-4 scoreline here on Overpass. Certainly not the situation you would have dreamed of if you are a Swede. Maybe you would have. Maybe you're a big Astralis fan if you're Swedish. That can happen. That is allowed, I've heard. But ooh, res. Keen Deagler.
Nice shot, though, from Forest. Again, it's like, even when NIP win a gunfight, they can't get out of it with 100 HP. They have to have, like, 10 or less. That's the rule here for Astralis. See, and the Device just mops him up. 2 more kills up on long. He's on 3 right now. Screw it, throw a pop flash over. Not going to peek with it. Dennis isn't there, luckily enough, but he'll move back in, and that's the spot from Zipnix. He has full info there. Dennis is going to have to reroute as his position has been gained, and Astralis are going to continue to push up as well, with just flanking this connected Device and an off angle up in the toilets. I mean, this is not an easy round for Dennis. He has so many players nearby. He doesn't know which angles to check. This should be the killer, and there it is from Device. Fantastic 4K from the man himself, and 15 rounds for Astralis, Harry. What an opening game this has been. This is a... wow. Considering how dominant this scoreline is, we've had some cool moments, I think.
Yeah, no, most definitely. No, good start to the day. Astralis just 1 round away from taking our first match here on day 5 of Pro League in total. So here's Device lining up that early Molotov. We saw NIP try and throw this out a few times and miss it. So did Device, in case anyone's wondering. So, you know, might be the HLTV like top ranked player in the world, but everyone makes mistakes. That's what he's here to teach us. I'll tell you who doesn't though. Dennis able to find one with the Deeg onto Dupree. That's a lot of Ds, and now Zipnik's going to try and make a stand over here towards long. Pressured into by Rez. So rifle dropped at the feet of Rez over here towards long, and Device now looking to try and isolate this fight, find the 1v1 while the rest of the guys are aggressing out through mid, but Rez has successfully found a double. Magisk, we've seen him work Magic, and oh my goodness, Magisk, not again! Surely you don't do this twice in one game. That is just despicable. He's gone ahead and pulled this back into a 2v1. As Magisk soldiers forward, it's going to be Rez. Now with so much on his plate. Bomb down over here towards short as well. He's got 50 seconds left to play with an AK in hand. No utility though. He's going to try and sell a bit of a fake down towards a B bomb site. Opens up connector door and now turns his attention back towards A.
I don't think that they've seen the bomb as well. That's why they've gone for this heavy rotate down towards B, and his door opening is only going to confirm their suspicions. Problem is, he doesn't know that they don't know that he doesn't have the bomb, so he's wasting valuable time while this bomb is clearly accessible for him, and the A bomb site is open for the taking. As he starts to move up, 25 seconds on the clock. Rez will realize this pretty quickly once he doesn't get early peeked by an Astralis player on this bomb site. But they're going to be held to have a plentiful amount of time to rotate up once they hear this bomb plant, and there it is, it's coming through. Fake actually to force a peek. Again, not expecting that Astralis were not committed to this A bomb site, and I don't blame him. Here's the dive from Glaive, and there's the death from Rez. He goes flying into the heavens, and that'll be it. 16-4 for Astralis. The defuse comes in. What a fantastic map of Counter-Strike. I almost feel like Astralis won more rounds where they were at a mad disadvantage than ones that they actually had it in the bag.
Yeah, it might not have been the cleanest, most methodical CS, but it certainly had some big moments, especially for the Danes. Magisk with a few rounds there where he picks up 3 or 4 kills. Fantastic stuff from him. Didn't get to see too much of the new SG and org changes, but it was interesting nonetheless. That will be Astralis picking up this first map. And we'll be back with the second and the analyst desk after a break.